it is 7 o'clock, so.
Yep.
Good evening. It's 7 o'clock on May 1st, 2024. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Madison Planning Board. We have no alternates, so if anybody wants to be an alternate out there, we gladly welcome you. So we will not be elevating any alternates. Third on the agenda is approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Number 4 is approval of minutes of the March 6, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like a motion to approve the minutes of March 6th.
Second.
Wait a second, I was gonna add
Paul.
Mark's.
Yep.
a little something. Yeah, I found my only ink. On Selectmen's report, and this is just to clarify, is Price stated the Selectmen received judgment in their favor on the Shazak Realty Trust. Price stated that as far as the STR gauge lot case, and I said the ZBA's denial of the gauge lot case was forwarded to the council.
But what? What? Price stated as far as STRs, the gauge case was forwarded to town council. Town council is filing for court to levy fines.
I don't know if that's necessary, but if you didn't know where it came from, that might help. But if people say it's not necessary, I'm just trying to prove that I read the minutes.
Oh,
Looks like you
I thought
did.
you were saying it didn't make sense, but it does make sense. Jeez, I'm thinking like,
Emotion.
what doesn't make sense?
A motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes as presented. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. It's the truth. Number 5 is public comment. There being no public comment, I will close the public comment period. Number 6 is old business. I guess my question is, we have not heard from Wes, unless
Yes, the release of covenant has been recorded, but I haven't seen a plan yet.
So I haven't signed it.
No, because I haven't seen it.
No.
I'd bring it to you if I had it, but he hasn't brought me the plan yet. But the release of covenant has been recorded, because we found it on the registry,
No.
with a copy of the subdivision approval attached to it. Remember, he got the subdivision approval, but he hasn't done the plans yet. I haven't seen the plans, he hasn't come in with the plans yet.
Wes hasn't?
No. The boundary line adjustment, he was gonna do that, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay. I
Yeah.
wondered if I'd done it in my dreams.
No.
No. New business is number 7, is case number 2401 Scenic Road, tree cut from Eversource from Modoc Hill Road, Savory Road, and Old Colony Road. They presented a package, pretty comprehensive package of what their intention is. I sort of anticipated someone here,
They
but
never come. Nope, they didn't the last time
I
either.
think last time they were here.
yeah, let's.
They've almost always come, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know, I didn't think he came. This is a different person, so
that could be it.
I did post it in the paper
I saw that.
twice.
Scenic roads have a designation which requires the utility company to have a public hearing. So if any of the abutters or residents on that road can come in and have public comment. And so that is the function of this notice and this of notice of scenic road tree cut. Pretty straightforward. If anybody was out there, there's probably blue and white ribbons on
And
trees.
they did this, back a while ago, they did some of these roads already, so they're doing them again. I mean, They did this, I came to you back a while ago with it, when he came, when the other guy,
Yeah, they did, I assumed it was different roads, but,
no, they were still, there's still, 3 of them were still in the last
okay.
posting, so.
I took a look at the 2 on Old Colony and Savory. I never made it over to Modoc, and they definitely,
Yeah,
those 3 trees are
I actually drove it
absolutely need to go. Yeah, I didn't get over to Modoc because it's the portion of Modoc that's way over on the Conway side, so I didn't get over there and look at those.
I went up Savory Road and Old Colony Road.
Yeah.
And yeah, you need to. They're scary.
So, I guess we normally vote to approve this.
And then the
scenic
minutes
road.
just get
So I
attached.
guess,
Yeah.
absent any further comment from the board, I would entertain a motion.
Motion we approve the scenic road cut on that case 2401.
I'll second that.
Okay. All right, we got 2, Paul or Jay?
Paul.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve this scenic road tree cut, case number 2401, our first case, and it's May.
Thank goodness. You could be on the other board and deal with
I am.
Yeah.
Switch, want to switch?
It is May, but it's still their first case. They're still talking about it.
Any further discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Next bullet point we'll skip over. Oh, no, it's election of chairman and vice chairman.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that I'll nominate yourself as chairman.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Don't you want that job?
Look at him.
Like you having it.
Don't look scared. There's been one nominee. Any other nominees? How about Carl? He's not here. We'll teach him to miss. Hearing no other victims. Anyone all in favor of Chairman Olson becoming Chairman Olson? Vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I never vote. The ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Paul Marks for vice chair.
A motion's been made
Second.
and seconded to re-elect Mr. Martz as vice chair. Carl's not here, it's our chance. You never miss another meeting. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I don't know. It's the power of incumbency, I think.
I guess so.
It's the fundraising we did. Chairman's report. I have nothing to report as chairman.
How was your trip?
Huh?
How was your trip?
Oh, my trip was great. Great. Ready to go again. So, need to make more time off. Chuck, I've had one day off. Well, I haven't really had one day off since I've been back, so. I guess the one thing the chair would like to talk about is how we want to deal with the Coleman pits going forward.
Is there any updates of?
Well, on the Ledge Pond pit, the road's been moved, so he's obviously beyond his permit, because her permit did not include moving the road, to my recall.
We'd have to get the plans and look.
Um,
The plan did show the road. The plan showed the road on the southern end of the property being in the position that it was going to be in forever. but it did show that the portion at the northern end still could move further over into that kettle pond.
Yeah, which it has.
So that portion did show that on that plan, but the southern portion of the road was at the final location already. It was the northern portion of the road that was, say where my pen is, and it could still come over to here, and it was actually gonna be partway down into that kettle pond. That's where
Which it is.
the plan showed. So then in that case, he moved it to where the plan showed it.
Okay.
Do you mean the dry kettle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it sometimes gets wet.
Yeah, okay.
Springtime, it's full.
Mhm.
And then the one I can't talk about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can Citizen Coleman, Citizen Olson, go to the audience and give us an update on what has been seen at Citizen Olson's property?
Sure. I would like to step down from the board so I can remove myself from the board formally for a moment.
You're gonna come sit over here?
Huh?
You're gonna come sit over here?
Oh, yes.
You're in
And
charge.
Mr. Marks will assume the chair. But it's more on the Kennett lot that he bought from Russell, that he has clearly moved into and fenced. So he clearly plans to excavate. Well, I assume that he's going to excavate. He's fenced in a whole lot. So probably, I don't know, maybe 60 or 80 feet into that.
Has he?
So it'd be a zoning violation.
Mhm.
So has he disturbed more than 2 acres of land in terms of excavation or anything like that?
I would say it's probably more than 2 acres.
Because once he exceeds more than 2 acres, he needs an alteration of terrain permit, which we would have to get that from DES and find out if that's on file. If there's no alteration of terrain permit on file, that
Well, there's no excavation permit.
Right.
so
There's no zoning permit.
so you can get an alteration of terrain permit if you're not doing extraction, in terms of that's not the purpose of the property. We all know what the purpose for the property is, but what you file it under would potentially dictate, is it being used for gravel extraction or is it being altered for development? And that's, we don't know until we get the alteration of terrain permit.
Well, 155E would clearly define what the limit of the excavation is, which includes whatever you take away to excavate.
So do we
So
send
it's not just this, it's this.
So we send him a letter and ask him to send us a copy of the permit? He's got for that.
You can.
Well, that's the question. And that's the question I have. So if we ask for permits to what we believe he's done, he may not have any permits pulled. So I want to go back to a statement that Kirby made, and that was, he asked the question, has it been more than 2 acres that have been excavated? And I guess my question would then be, to prove that, we would have to have a plan or a drawing showing what was in place prior to what may have happened over the past year or so since we've last discussed this. So I guess the burden of proof would be upon the board to somehow prove that 2 acres or more have been disturbed.
You can see it on Apple Maps.
Okay. All right, that's a good point, thank you. So I guess we'd have to take that route to try and prove it, and then ask the question about the permits. Has any permit been pulled for either excavation or any of the other things that supposedly could
For
go?
zoning. I mean, he's clearly excavating in rural residential.
Mhm.
Well, then I think we should verify Kate, can we verify on Google Maps?
No, Apple. Google doesn't
Apple,
show it,
rather.
Apple does.
Guess so.
I don't have that technology. I don't
Oh,
use-
you can download it.
I don't use
I don't
Apple.
have it either.
I don't have anything Apple. I'm going to DES's One Stop right now, looking to see what they might have.
So once we have that determination from visuals, pictures, then I guess we can send the question to, would it be DES or Mr. Coleman or both?
It could be both. I would think Mr. Colum first and ask him, you know, to give us, it's evident that there's excavation going on beyond the 2 acre limits.
Okay.
Send us a copy of your DES permit. And then also would have to mention that he's got to come before us for zoning,
No, he's gotta go to them for zoning,
present for zoning.
Yeah.
and they really can't do anything. They can't rezone it, the town would have to rezone it by vote.
So would that be the lot that would be on the corner of Tasker? That weird shaped lot on the corner of Tasker right here? I'm pretty sure that's the lot that used to be Russell Kennett's right here, correct?
It's the bypass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
20310. So 20310 is not listed on the alteration of terrain permits that are current for Madison, New Hampshire.
It's 2039.
2039?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any 203s here, I think, let me just double check. So unless it was misfiled, there's only one that does not have a tax map and lot number that's an alteration of terrain permit that's current in Madison, New Hampshire. There's none on the map 203 currently. This is from DES's One Stop page, which is the place you can check on any permit. So. I would suggest writing a letter to Coleman to find out. We have to confirm that it's at least 2 acres, because if it's not 2 acres and he is not, the tough thing is going to be is that you have to prove that he's actually extracting materials for gravel sales and not, one thing that they could claim is that they're doing this because they're planning to develop the property. And if it's under 2 acres, it's a hard fight to be able to get. That being said, it's not typically economically viable to do less than 2 acres of disturbance and try to sell that material. So the next thing is going to be is if he tries to grandfather it, he did not own, that was not in common ownership back when 155E went into establishment, which means that it would have to go, it's not a grandfathered pit, it would have to come before us before even getting the alteration of terrain permit at that point.
Is there an easier way than having a surveyor going out there and doing this?
If Apple Maps, I don't know what Apple Maps is. I'm assuming it's
either.
like Google Earth, but Google Earth isn't current. Like I can't go on Google Earth and see that.
Yeah. You can on Apple. Pretty clear.
Are you allowed to fly a drone over someone else's property? Google Maps and Apple are obviously taking pictures.
On the satellite though.
Right. So I'm wondering if there's a difference between a drone and a satellite, because drones can go pretty high these days.
It might make sense for the planning board to make a site visit and observe this and see what the complaint is first, put eyes on it,
Mm-hmm.
before we spend money to.
Yeah, because I believe the last correspondence was asking planning board members to stay off the property, if I recall.
Yeah, we don't have to walk onto the property, we can view it from
Okay.
adjacent property, especially if the adjacent property owner would allow us to access to their property to
Mm-hmm.
observe.
In the bypass corridor.
Yep,
True. Yeah.
until it's sold.
I don't know, I put my hat in the ring for the piece of the bypass that's on my property, and I haven't heard anything from them. I've heard from the trails people that did do a survey of that, so I don't think they're gonna sell it without
An easement,
without
permanent easement.
trails, which I said I'm all for.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Do we want to try to plan a site visit for ourselves as a board, or do we want to try to do it on each of our own time, or how do you?
I think we should do it as a board
Yep, I agree.
and be able to, look at it and verify. You're familiar with it?
I'm familiar enough with
I've
it.
never been up there, even though it's around the corner from me.
It's in your own backyard.
Going back, yeah. I think we should probably do that
Sooner than later.
sooner than later, exactly. And probably the best time to do would be early evening.
Yeah, probably. If you guys tell me, I can say that typically I have availability on Wednesday nights pretty much every week. I don't know what everyone else's availability is. It's the one night of the week that I try to keep open.
Okay. So we set something up for next Wednesday, weather dependent on it, and what's it?
Meet at
Where are you gonna meet?
meet at the corner of Tasker Hill and Allard Hill. Meet right there at the corner and carpool, well, not carpool, but parade up from there.
Yeah.
Bring
What
it
time?
back.
5 o'clock?
5 o'clock?
O'clock.
And in conjunction with that site visit, in regards to the permits, we're gonna have Kate see if permits exist with either the owner or DES?
I think we want to do this first and verify
Yeah,
Okay.
before we
All right.
send anything out.
yep.
All right.
That one stop that I was just on is a very up-to-date
Yeah.
site. They update that constantly, so if it's not listed there, it's very unlikely that it's
Yeah.
existing.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll need to post that as a meeting then.
Oh, wait a minute. For next Wednesday,
That too quick?
to get it in the paper?
How many days does it have to be out?
Well, yeah, you're cutting into,
Were you gonna notify Coleman of it?
No, we have to notify the, notice the public because we're having
paper.
a meeting.
That only gives me,
Do you need to notice it in the paper? It's not a public hearing, it
just
should
two
just
public
be
places,
a
right?
notice.
Just do the notice at the post office and the town hall, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You don't
that's
need the
all.
paper.
I didn't think I needed the
Shouldn't need
paper.
the paper.
you can put it on the website too.
So we'll put it for the week after?
I think we can still do it for next Wednesday because we can just notice it in the.
Yeah, I don't think it has to go in the paper. I think it's
No.
just the posted notices,
But is
the
that
two
how many
post
days-
offices in here.
How many days does it have to be posted for?
24 hours.
24 hours ahead of the meeting.
So we're
So
doing
next
it
week,
on
the 8th?
Now, how is, do I have to do anything with Coleman? Does that,
No,
I
not now.
don't think so.
Okay. okay.
So next week, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Allard and Tasker.
Do we need to make a motion to have that meeting?
Probably doesn't hurt.
Probably doesn't hurt, exactly. So entertain a motion to hold a site visit meeting for Wednesday, May 8th, to view the property that's adjacent to the, it's up adjacent to Tasker Hill. Where it is, Tasker Hill and the former corridor.
Yeah, bypass.
for the bypass
At 5 PM. I'll second that
at 5
motion.
p.m. Okay? Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Who seconded?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Anything else, Citizen Olson, to report?
No, that's enough trouble.
Okay.
You wanna come back and play?
I will return to the board. Demote you back to vice president.
No, Chairman.
Jeez, I'm sorry, guys. Is there any chance we could change that to 4 o'clock? Can people do 4? I just noticed I do have something that night. Go figure.
I don't have a problem.
I don't have a problem.
That's fine with me. I'll make a motion to amend that meeting notice to 4 PM.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Seconded that.
Seconded by...
I second that.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Go figure one Wednesday night I actually have something.
Bring your bug spray.
Okay, we'll let the minutes reflect that the chair has resumed the seat. And number 9 would be Selectmen's report.
I have nothing to report unless you have something you'd like to ask.
I have a question that I should know the answer to, but I missed town meeting. Did Vizio's Banfield Hollow
Yes,
be
passed.
accepted?
Yep.
Well, they're probably the best roads in town. So,
Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question? Selectman Price? So, also about the pass was the 5-person board of selectmen.
Mm-hmm.
So that will take place during election period next, in 2025?
Yep.
Okay. For 2?
Technically, it'll be 3 because John's
That's
term
right.
will be up.
Yeah, that's right. 3.
Clerk will stagger the terms so that it works itself in
Right.
appropriately.
Mr. Chair, if I can ask him one question about Banfield Hollow. What was the discussion about Banfield Hollow and a bond?
Selectman Gray had concern over damaging the roads with the 3 lots that are currently not built on, and was curious about a bond to protect those roads, but he deemed it unnecessary.
That would be up to the new owner though, right? For bond, that he wouldn't be.
That'd be the town, right?
We don't own them yet.
Oh,
The bond that was released by this board has not yet been released by the bank, and the deed for the town has not yet been recorded, so technically they still own it until all of that takes place.
I don't believe we've ever had a bond for anyone to do construction on the house lot except for during mud season. I believe that's the only time that I've ever heard of that. I heard about that this morning and was kind of surprised when I heard that, so that's why I had to ask.
The discussion was that regardless of a bond, the owner is still liable for any damages caused to the road by construction, so it's an unnecessary
Yep.
event.
Thank you.
yeah, you're responsible for road damage without a bond. Yeah. Okay. And correspondence and administration.
Me.
No. And then, let's see. One question, we have not heard from the court on either the Pomeroy case or the road case. Either case. That was that court that was supposed to do everything in 6 weeks, isn't it?
Well, I bet he's overloaded. I actually read Supreme Court when he was appointed and everything. I read a whole article on it today. And he's probably overloaded because he's doing it for the entire state.
one person.
So that's the only thing I can imagine is what's going on.
And then we have this agreement for professional planning services between North Star Planning and the town of Madison. General purpose two. The purpose of this agreement is to acknowledge that North Star Planning, with a place of business at New Gloucester Hall, 49 Pineland Drive, Suite 102, New Gloucester, Maine, 04260, is to provide professional planning services to the town of Madison and to assist the planning board's understanding of the master plan planning in New Hampshire. The town may also seek assistance with other planning-related topics at their request. The scope of services, North Star Planning will provide the following professional planning services to assist the town. One is presentation of the master plan in New Hampshire to the planning board. Task one is preparation of material, 2 hours at $140 an hour. 2 is presentation workshop, 1 hour, $140 an hour. And 3 is travel time for $70 for a total of $490. The town's responsibilities are provide necessary information and access to existing documents and files, copy documents for use by the planning board and others as needed. 3, timely payment of monthly North Star invoices. Duration of the agreement. This agreement is for planning board meeting on June 5th. North Star Planning will provide assistance with other planning related topics at the town's request. Independent contractor. North Star Planning is an independent contractor and not an employee of the town. North Star Planning is responsible for all employee income taxes, workman's comp insurance, and any other related employee benefits. North Star Planning will hold the town harmless in the event any accident, injury, or occurrence to a member of the staff while involved in this assignment, unless resulting from the town's negligence. So the ask is to have this guy come and visit us for an hour after having reviewed our existing documents and spend $490.
So I guess it's not really super clear what they're providing. It says presentation on master in New Hampshire to the planning board. And I'm really not clear on what presentation on master in New Hampshire to the planning board is.
It'd be an explanation of what is required by the state
That's what I think.
to do that. Because I was gonna suggest here that everybody sit down and put the thinking caps on and come up with some questions so we can have something to discuss with him when we're sitting here and not try to fish for things. There's certain things that we should be asking of him when we meet with him.
Mr. Chairman, did you state that we had already provided our master plan and some other documentation to this individual?
I think he went online and looked at it the first
Okay.
time I talked to him. I think he was looking at it.
So my question is, in whatever information, documentation we want to provide to the individual, I know the last time Kate had sent out what she believed to be the most current master plan.
Yeah, that's the current one.
Yeah.
So everybody here, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess there's some questions about,
Numbering and all
Yeah.
kinds of things. Yeah, it's messy. It's messy.
Yeah.
Some
So,
missing pages,
well, it doesn't, the
Doesn't
pages
jive.
don't quite follow each other, but yeah. So that's my question is, I guess we gotta give them what we got, right?
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all we have.
Is there a third page to this? Because I see page 1,
No,
3, 2,
no, and I wanted to tell you that, no, there is
Okay.
not. He just, I said to Linda, I said, they're gonna ask me that, I know they are, but no, there is not.
Okay.
The one intentionally left blank.
Oh,
That was in your email you sent out.
was it?
Yeah, I put it in there explaining that to everybody too,
Yeah.
but I figured it would come up here as well, so. I did the same thing. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Well, I guess my question is, he comes and talks to us for 4 hours, and we say, yeah, we kind of like what you have, it's obviously gonna take somebody 20 hours to do anything to the master plan.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 times 14 is 28,000. Which we don't have in the budget.
Nope.
Not this year.
Yeah.
Well, that should be one of the questions then, is he's had a chance to review what we have, would he project to spend to get us up to date on where we are?
I agree
And
with
have
you.
that as an, hopefully an answer for us next, when we meet with him.
So, tell me we would have that to put into a budgeting process
Yeah.
down the road, right?
Right.
Then we'd have to go to town meeting and
Right.
say, we
We
need
need this much money.
40 or 50 or whatever it is, and the town's gonna say,
I don't think we should expect to get an answer that night though, especially because, of course, anything we're gonna do here is gonna have to go up to a bid.
Right.
So I don't expect that he's gonna probably wanna offer up, maybe he will, but I wouldn't expect he's gonna wanna offer up that night that,
Well,
what the
not
potential cost
a
is.
specific amount, but an idea on time it's gonna take
Sure,
to do something.
Right.
yeah.
And is he gonna offer us advice of what we can do to update the plan? And I think we're looking somewhat in that direction with somebody coming in, and what can we do and what would have somebody else have to do to help us?
yeah, but I guess, if we're thinking of a professional planner, that professional planner is gonna cost something like this amount of money.
Mhm.
So if it were a warrant article in the following year, do you think that the voters would be opposed to an expenditure like that for the master plan?
I don't see you getting out of this for anything less than 10 grand.
Right.
And that would be the most minimal update possible to your master plan. I don't see getting out of this for less than 10 grand. And that would be like basically demographics, stuff like that. Which I think that if somebody wanted to volunteer and do a bunch of that, I bet that a lot of that could be done. I can tell you that I'm not gonna volunteer to do that because I'm resistant to spending money or time on a master plan that I don't think is gonna change all that much on how everything is done within the town. I just don't see the value in it personally.
I just don't think any of us, I know I don't have time to dump hours into master plan. I don't know if North Country Council can help us better. You're unfamiliar with North Country Council.
Check, but I don't know. I think didn't I go through all that when I was trying to find somebody? I thought I
Yes,
did.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and there was I used the woman that we used here for our mitigation stuff, and she's retiring, so she's out. I thought North Country Council, there was something going, we're not a member, I think, that's what it is, isn't that true?
No.
I don't think we're a member of North Country Council.
we are, but that does not make any difference.
Right.
It doesn't, I mean, it practically does not make any difference, but if we really wanted to do something with the master plan, you could always join North Country Council. And I do not know
Isn't it like,
how much
say,
they're gonna bring
$3,000
to
or
us.
something? Isn't it expensive?
North Country
I thought it
Council?
was expensive, wasn't it expensive?
To join?
Yeah,
It's a per capita thing.
I thought it was, why
So-
am I floating around in my head $3,000 or something like that? Is that off?
And I forget how much it was last
Yeah,
time.
I think it was a lot of money, but
That was back when we wanted to do planning.
I wasn't here.
So,
But I've heard discussions of it.
So I just, my hesitation is to spend $500 to find out that it's gonna cost us 30, that we don't have. So maybe it would be better to go to the town meeting and say, hey, we need 30 to update the master plan. And then work on bidding it out from that angle.
Well, then aren't you shooting yourself in the foot not knowing how much it's gonna cost us?
Right,
right.
What if it's 70?
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking it's gonna be more like,
I think you better go in with a real number.
yeah.
I think you're better off spending the 500 to get an idea of,
Right.
of where
Because
you
the other
actually
guy
need to
that I
be.
dealt with, he was $75,000, so I think you're gonna be in that 75 to possibly 100, in that ballpark.
Yeah.
And it all depends on what we actually choose to do.
Right.
If we're gonna do surveys and all of that stuff, I can totally see it getting to 75,000 or more. If we're not going to that extreme, that's where I'm thinking that it's at least that $10,000 number, maybe 30,000, if we're not going to that extreme. And it all depends upon what the taxpayers want to, you know, how they want to expend their tax money, how they want to go forward.
But it hasn't been updated since.
I would agree with Adam
Right.
on at least trying to find out, hey, look at this, tell us what we got, what are we dealing with?
Yeah.
What do we have to change in here? Like what by statute, what do we need to really update here?
And what we don't have to do.
Because it has been updated in a long time, and that's, I'm sure it's out of compliance,
Like,
per se.
yeah, we're sort of mandated to update it
Right.
too. aren't we?
That's where
Yeah.
So
that's the.
I think we need to know that to move forward.
So,
I'd make a motion, we spend $490 with this North Star Planning and have Jamal Torres come and see us at the next meeting.
I'll second.
a motion been made and seconded to invite North Star Planning to our next meeting to discuss just what he thinks is involved in updating our master plan. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I will sign this document.
And he is coming, because I already confirmed that with him for the 5th. Because
Okay.
he was originally coming for tonight, but since that didn't work. After canceling April.
So
Am
we
I
wanted
supposed-
this discussion before we committed on it. We wanted this discussion before we committed on it.
Sure. I don't blame you, that's why I put it in there. He thought Linda could sign it, I said, no. He said usually with other towns, he just has an administrator sign it or somebody, and I'm like, no, it's going to you guys first.
Motion to adjourn?
Wait,
Second?
wait.
Motion been made and seconded
Wait,
to
wait.
adjourn. Huh?
I just have one thing to say.
Oh, your resignation letter?
Yes.
Were you gonna give us one more month because you wanna? Where did it go?
I have a copy of it here for
I
you to
did
look.
type one, really.
Oh,
I have it.
it says, I'll read it, I'll paraphrase what it says. I regret to inform you that I'm not going to quit.
Wait a minute.
Second.
It is with regret that I have to inform you that I will be resigning from my position as full-time member of the Madison Planning Board. I need to focus my time in renovating my property in Boston, and the commute and costs associated with renting and commuting proved to be too much in my retirement. It has been an honor to serve the community as a role of as the Madison Planning Board member. I will miss the many challenges continued to face the town, such as, that was his book and not me reading, such as, most of them are me reading, changes to technology, housing needs, working from home, and maintaining property rights with the vision of maintaining the rural character of the town. I have faith that these challenges will be addressed by the planning board and successfully regulated if needed. Personally, I want to thank you, Mark, for continued participation in the many town boards that you served over the decades in helping to shape this wonderful little town in what it is today. Jay Buckley. So he's quitting on us.
Yeah, I found out the health insurance that I have. If I get hurt outside of this state, I gotta find a way to get back in.
Oh,
Unless I'm unconscious and I'm
outside of this state or Massachusetts?
not New Hampshire.
Of New Hampshire.
So I'll be changing my residency at the end of this month on the last day. And so I'm available. If Pomeroy case does come up, I still volunteer to go to court just to sit there. So that's up to you.
I drive through Madison, are the cameras still on? I drive through Madison and look at the changes that have occurred in the last 20 or 30 years and just sort of blows me away. So, not the same town. So, but that being that,
Thank you, Jay.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you all.
It's with regret that we get this.
No, it's been an honor working with you guys and Kate. Gotcha. And especially for the folks in town, just listening to their concerns and hopefully doing the right thing for them. So, no, I learned a lot here. Anybody that wants to take this seat, you know, you're gonna have a good time.
If you have to find his replacement before you go.
Yes, that's the assignment.
But no, I think maybe this is my 20th year, something like that.
Oh, really?
Remember, there was a point that I did 16 years, and then I took a break for a few years, and then came back because you guys couldn't find anybody.
This is approaching my 20th year since I turned 50.
But no, it really has been a great learning experience, and I really appreciate the folks in town for their support of this board, and myself, so thank you.
And I want to know who voted for you and didn't vote for me. I want to find those people. and I just remembered there is on May 11th the state planning thing,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a virtual thing.
Yep.
I sort of read
Free.
it and said,
No.
"Oh, this isn't a trip to Concord.
No.
This is a virtual
No.
thing."
Means no
Long
free
day.
food.
What?
No free food.
No.
That's right, that's why it's free.
In your kitchen. You get a break for lunch in your kitchen.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess if it's just virtual, you can poke into what you want to.
Well, they're heading
Two.
planning and zoning and historical, but
Yeah.
I did planning and zoning, so I'm not sure how that's gonna work, if I'm gonna be jumping back and forth, or what the heck's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
So, but you might gain, look at the programs and see what you're interested in. It's the
Chris
ZBA's
Bolt is-
attorney is going to
Chris
be a
Bolt is,
presenter.
yeah, that's,
So, and I don't agree with much of what he says. So I'm on the ZBA, and all we do is SDRs right now, almost all we do. And because I'm on the planning board, he kicks me out of any of the SDR stuff, so I can't even go to the non-meetings, which is a little frustrating. But
Huh?
right, I can't go to the non-meetings talking about SDRs.
Wow.
But,
But I would be just learning good stuff that might be helpful.
yeah, that's what I'm
And that
saying.
we're paying for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess this is obviously going to be a long process, this SDR appeal process. Hopefully not. That's the way it's been going. So you could theoretically, in a year, end your position on the planning board, still be on the ZBA, but now you're without information because you were prohibited from those meetings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Yes. And it's not like I can use that at the ZBA
Right.
because I sit in the audience.
Yeah.
But that's why you hire lawyers, I guess. And you were saying something about
Motion to adjourn.
Second is,
emotions.
Adam actually did before, but we kind of.
Jay can have it. It's his last meeting.
Okay, we'll let you have it, all right.
thank you.